and do your job as the chairman of this committee for oversight of the executive branch of government, and don't be a rubber stamp.
You showed up 45 minutes late to that. Had you been on time, you might know a little bit more. Sounds like you're coming up with numbers that they haven't asked for, but you can keep speculating.
The president has said he wants $200 billion.
You
Are you paying attention to what
There's no request that's come in.
Or are you just rubber stamping what
You haven't seen a request?
There have not been numerous. There's been 3.
That's numerous.
1, pursuant to Clause 2M of House Rule 11, Clause 2K6 of House Rule 11, I move that this committee issue subpoenas to compel the testimonies of Secretary Marco Rubio, of Mr. Steve Witkoff, and Mr. Jared Kushner at a public House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing before the end of April 2026, so we, members of Congress, and the American people can hear from them directly on the most pressing international security matter facing Americans today: President Trump's war of choice in Iran.
Well, I would encourage you, if you want to know more about what's taking place with the activities in Iran or anywhere else, feel free to attend any one of our fly-in day classified briefings, which you basically don't attend at all. And we had a classified briefing just last week with INR. You showed up 45 minutes late to that. Had you been on time, you might know a little bit more. I'd also encourage you that when we have the classified briefings with Secretary Rubio, Secretary Hegseth, General Kane, Director of the CIA, John Radcliffe, which we've had numerous ones with, you might want to take a few notes, because clearly you're forgetting every single thing that they've told you, which has been every detail that you want to know about this conflict. So that would be my advice.
There have not been numerous. There's been 3.
That's numerous.
1 with the gang of 8.
Dictionary. I can use my phone. And
I was not at the gang of 8. So 1 meeting with the gang of 8.
You're in the gang of 16.
1 meeting with the gang of 16, and 1 with the full committee, and we did not get answers there.
Yeah, you get answers every time. Very important information.
Do your job and lead this committee, and let the American people and have some transparency.
Just so you know, standing every week that we fly in here.
You need some transparency for the American people. We need to have public hearings.
Goes on every week. I can let you know when it happens in advance. You can put it on your calendar, and you'll know, hey, the day we
have
fly
not had
in,
any public hearings.
Classified
Why not?
briefing.
What are you
Classified
hiding?
briefing right there.
What do you don't want the American people to know?
You have a hearing going on right now. You had
What do you want the
several last
American
week.
people? I've not had. The 3 people that have been doing all of the information, all of the negotiating, is Mr. Kushner.
You are very noisy. You don't know about what's classified, right?
Mr. Witkoff, and we need the Secretary of State. And those are the individuals that need to be here.
You'll see Secretary
and
of
those
State in
individuals
May.
should be subpoenaed here, and that's why I'm asking to have a subpoena, to have them in this room so that the American people can see them and hear them, and they can get questions asked by Democrats and Republicans. That's who we are. That's the responsibility
Like at our
the
classified
Constitution gives
briefings
us.
that you must have forgot about.
That's the American people need to have public hearings. You know, Colin Powell and every other administration has had their people, top people here to testify in the public to justify particularly a war.
You should be
it is
thankful.
our job.
You should be thankful. We have Undersecretary Donano. I don't know if you remember Bonnie Jenkins, who was under the Biden administration, but probably one of the dumbest witnesses we've ever had in Congress.
I know that you want to protect the president. And the way you want to protect him is by not calling his people president. You just want to give him a check, just like the Dumas does for Vladimir Putin.
And you
no
just hate Trump.
responsibility, no oversight. No public oversight. It's time for that to stop.
I'd encourage you, attend the hearings and the briefings that we have. You'd learn quite a bit, and even consider showing up on time. You'll learn a lot.
Stop covering up for the administration. And do your job as the chairman of this committee for oversight of the executive branch of government, and don't be a rubber stamp.
You have somebody here before you. I'd encourage you, ask some questions there.
I will ask him some questions.
I'll look forward to hearing it, and I'm sure we all will.
Yeah.
Very good. And again, I'll make sure to update you on when our classified briefings are every time that we fly
I want
in.
some
just
public
so you know,
hearings so that
just so you know when they
I
are.
want transparency.
Hopefully
for
we
the
don't see any
American
more
people.
excuses of why you don't show up to classified briefings.
Do you believe in transparency?
They're pretty important.
Do the
There's
American
a lot
people
of great
deserve
information
transparency,
at
Mr.
classified
Chairman?
briefings.
Does the American people deserve transparency?
They deserve to know that anybody involved in their national security apparatus is actually paying attention to the issues instead of sitting in their office, fundraising and things like that. Whatever you're doing, instead of showing up to classified briefings.
You're asking the president's going to be asking the American people. Do they deserve transparency to know how the taxpayer dollars
Sounds like you're coming up with numbers that they haven't asked for, but you can speculate.
The president has said he wants $200 billion. Are you
keep-
paying attention to what he's
There's
saying?
no request that's come in.
Or are you just rubber stamping what
You
he's
haven't
saying?
seen a request come in, right? You're just
I've
speculating.
heard the president. I heard the president say certain things in his bone.
But
I
again,
want him in here.
And I would encourage you again, show up to our classified briefings so that you can be a
Have public,
well-informed
transparent
individual
hearings for the
that's a
people.
part of the national security apparatus. That
Do
would
you
be
respect the
a
American people?
basic function. You should show up
Do you
to
respect the American
classified-
people?
Beyond anything.
Do you respect the American
the
people? Do
we
you
the
believe the
people of the
American
United
people
States
deserve
of America
transparency?
deserve every bit of
Do you
transparency.
believe that the American
Absolutely.
people deserve transparency?
But they also know that loose links
Do
sink
you
ships.
believe the American American
Two
Dude,
people
things that
quiet.
sink
showing
ships most:
transparency.
United States Navy, number one. We sink
Do
a lot
you
of Iranian
believe-
ships, but loose lips, and that's why you don't get all
But
those.
what I believe is that the American people deserve transparency. The American people deserve to know what their government is doing. The American people needs to know why the president
I'm
has
being
taken
very
us into a war
transparent and
chest.
letting them know you don't show up to
No,
classified
I'm being
briefings.
transparent, and
Big
they can
problem.
see that you're
So,
trying to hide the truth from the American people.
I'm not trying to hide it
Then
from
let's
them
do
that,
public
that you
hearings.
don't show up to classified
Then let's
briefings.
do public hearings.
It's just something that I think everybody
do
should
public
know.
hearings.
It's very important that they know you're not showing up for your
Oftentimes, I can
job.
tell you, some of those hearings that you're having, I've already know about it in the press.
Well,
And you hear nothing more than that. Let the American people have transparency.
you ready to talk
I
to our
believe in it.
witness? You ready?
I'm ready. As soon as you stop, you're the one that started the conversation. I just asked for a subpoena of those three individuals.
Okay, let's do it. Anything
Let's
else
do
to
it.
point at? You good?
Yep.
Very good.
You know, here we go again. Here we go again. You know, Congressman Meeks is on the floor, you know, making theatrical move to subpoena Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, and Secretary Marco Rubio for a public hearing. He's claiming the American people are being kept in the dark about international security matters and Trump's foreign policy. You know, but watch how fast this falls apart. You know, Brian Mast, chairman, he's the chairman of this committee, calls him out immediately with a reality check that should embarrass anyone in leadership. Mast points out that there are literally weekly classified briefings, the fly-in-day briefings, where all these details are laid out. But you know the kicker, Mix doesn't even show up to them. He doesn't show up on time. You know, it's the height of irony. You know, you have a congressman demanding transparency for public on matters of national security, while he's skipping the actual classified session where that information is being legally shared. You know, Mast reminds him that Secretary Rubio and Secretary Higsett have already provided numerous briefings. But you know, mixed response. He tries to argue over the definition of the word numerous, right? You know, but let's be honest. You know, this isn't about transparency. It's about a political hit job. Mix knows very well that sensitive intelligence regarding Iran or ongoing negotiation cannot and should not be broadcast on a live public feed for our adversaries to see. Right? He knows the executive sessions are the proper venue for this kind of hearing. Yet he continues to push for a public show trial just so he can take a swing at Trump administration, because you know all the Democrats, they hate Trump. You know, they don't really care about America. But you know, Mas hits the nail on the head here. Loose lips sink ships. While Mix is playing for the cameras and pretending to be ignorant of the facts because they weren't handed to him in a public setting. He's ignoring the basic duty of his office, you know, which is to actually show up, sit in the secure room, and you know, do the work, do the job. Yeah, do the job you are being elected to. No, but in the end, it's clear. Mix isn't looking for information. No, he's not looking for information. He already has access to it. He has access to it. He's looking for a podium to bash Trump, even if it means compromising national security protocols to do it. It's not ignorance, you know. It's not ignorance. It's pure partisan theater. You know, but you know, I want to know your thoughts about this. I want to hear you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.